Woods Media. So basically just trying to continue to educate my people on, the people that's living outside the US that look like us, and just let them know, hey, we are everywhere and we have history everywhere. And a lot of us don't know that, not only in the US, but
Mm-hmm.
South America, Central America, not only in Africa, that, in the Caribbean, we're everywhere.
Yes, I shared with you yesterday. I just got back from Honduras, and my husband and his sister were making fun of me because, like, I just every time I saw a black person, I was like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," because it feels good to see yourself outside of what you know, and then that information was kept from us for so long. I mean, it still is, and of course, it's being rolled back even more so now in the U.S.
Exactly. I you know, it feels good when you can go to another country and the people embrace you as one of them,
Mm-hmm.
because you look like one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and you don't get that in the US. You know, it's a lot different in the States than it is in other countries. And I think people try to bring the mentality of the States and thinking that, people are want to do harm, cause harm to you. And that's simply not the case in other countries.
Mm.
Um,
Please talk more about that. Talk about the specific countries you visited and your specific experiences while traveling while black or being black in these spaces.
okay. Normally I solo travel. Normally I solo travel. Um, and I've been to, of course, been to Mexico, different cities and towns in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Jamaica, of course, um, Belize, and Colombia, Cartagena, Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
hmm So, and multiple cities in towns in Belize. But all these places are places that have people that look like you and I. And everywhere that I've gone, I've been embraced. It hasn't been an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
What does
then,
that embrace look like? When you say embrace, what
then,
does that look
then
like?
well, I'll give you an example. Well, I have a couple of examples actually. The one that the one that really kind of was surprising to me was in Belize
Mm-hmm.
and the Garifuna community. Before I even got to Belize, and I was in the airport, LAX airport, coming from San Francisco to go to Belize, um, I met two ladies that were Belizean. They just so happen to live in the States now.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking about the history of the Garifuna.
Who are the
We were,
Garifuna?
huh?
Who are the Garifuna people? For people who might
The
not
the
know.
Garifuna people are Afro-Indigenous people from St. Vincent, from the island of St. Vincent, that pretty much were exiled from the country because they did not want to be enslaved. They fought back. They fought the British
Mm-hmm.
for their freedom. It's yeah. It's they have their own story, but like I said, the Belizean ladies that I met, they were basically giving me tips and were like, "Hey, tell them you're Belizean American." So they'll give you the Belizean price versus the
Okay.
American price,
Okay.
And
Discount.
and my thing was, my first thing was like, because I didn't know. So the first thing I was like, well, are they gonna believe that I am Belizean? Both of them were like, yes. And I didn't understand it until I got to the Garif in the
Mm-hmm.
community. It was like, oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, what that looked like when I actually got to the Garifuna communities of Dangria and Hopkins, basically people thought I was Garifuna, and they spoke their language to me. They were like, "Oh, you look like my sister. Oh, I thought you were Belizean," because as soon as I open my mouth, it's like you hear that southern tang. So it's like, like, oh, wait a minute, So,
That's different.
but yeah, but it was like I had a taxi driver, and he said, Oh, I thought you grew up in the States, but you came down to visit your family. And that was my first time even being there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he automatically assumed that I was one of them.
Yeah.
I went to the Grief in the museum. I'm gonna call her my little cousin too. My little cousin opened up the museum for me so I could see, so I could tour it. I mean, just show love. Like
Mm.
I was literally, when I was leaving, I was literally like in tears.
Oh.
Because I was like, man. And it was on my face because people were like, you don't look like you're ready to go. And so,
Because he
and
found
they,
family.
yeah. And so someone said, well, just change your flight.
Mm-hmm.
I had already changed my flight. You know what?
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, I gotta go back home or
Yeah.
whatever. So, but yeah, definitely. I ended up visiting a school there in Hopkins, and just talking to the principal and talking to some of the teachers and just seeing the difference in the children of Belize.
What'd you see? How were they different?
Um, it was different from American children. Just say, I mean, they were ready to learn. It was an elementary. I think it was K-8 or something, but they were ready to learn.
Wow, and you're an educator, so like it's the difference. You can really spot that and feel that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Well, that's a different culture.
Mm-hmm.
One, that's a different culture. They definitely want you to. They definitely knew their history. That's the key. That's the difference. They know who they are.
Hello.
And growing
Tomorrow's
up
Black History Month. Okay.
And growing up in the United States, you don't really know who you are or where you come from. You got to damn near investigate. You got to do the